So we find this opportunity to pause and breathe. Notice how it feels to completely let go of our head, our neck, our shoulders. As we relax through our upper body, notice how we hold our mid back. Notice if there's any rounding. And if we find any rounding in the mid back section, drive your elbows into the floor, lift your chest up, tuck your shoulder blades underneath you, and then come back to a resting position. Noticing how that feels. And bending our knees one at a time. Let's bring our arms to our side, palms facing down. On our next inhale, reach our arms up and overhead, letting our arms come back behind us as we hug the base of our ribs down. And then exhale, lift our arms back up and bring them back to our side. Inhale, lift our arms up, keep our ribs stable as we draw our arms back behind us. And then exhale, bring our arms back to our side. Continuing to flow with our breath, inhaling, reaching our arms back behind us. Exhaling, bringing our arms back to our side. Continuing to flow. And then the next exhale we find as we lower our arms down, I want you to pause. And then inhale, press our feet into the floor, lift our hips, and draw our arms back behind us. Rolling to the top of our shoulders. Exhaling, bringing our arms back to our side as we lower our hips. Inhale as we reach our arms and lift our hips. Exhale as we bring our arms and our hips back down. Continuing to flow. Feeling this stability within the core of our body as we flow, making sure we're not rounding as we lift up or rounding as we come down. And then the next time we inhale, reaching our arms back behind us, let's hold our arms in that position. And then on our next exhale, lower our hips down to the floor. Inhale, lift our hips back up. And exhale, lower our hips down. Try to keep a neutral spine as you lift and lower. Let's find one more time. And then on our next exhale, releasing our arms back to our side as we lower our hips. Let's bring our arms out to the side, fingertips point up to the ceiling. And then I want you to let your shoulders, the back of your shoulders, relax down to the floor. And then taking our arms, bring them back behind us and let them soften towards the floor. Now, some of us won't be able to get all the way down to the floor, and that's okay. The point here is to move into external rotation of our shoulder in a relaxed position. Keeping our shoulder blade firm on our back. Letting our shoulders soften. As we hold here, try not to get hung up on where you think you should be, and instead give yourself permission to be where you already are. With a different perspective, we can find that our body begins to let go, soften. Doing so without the need to protect, because it feels confident enough to do it. And lift our hands back up to the ceiling. And I want you to press the back of your shoulders into the floor and keep them there as you let your hands come forward and down towards the floor. And for most people, this is the harder one. But again, everybody's different and rotation will look different in everybody's body. Keeping the back of our shoulders down on the floor, we're letting our hands come down. And let them do it on its own, without forcing or pushing. Just finding where you can let go and still keep your shoulder in a safe place. And lifting our hands back up. And then from here, we're going to press our elbows into the floor, squeeze our shoulder blades together, lift our chest. Roll to the top of our shoulders, our traps. Walk our feet in towards our hips. Lift our hips up just a little bit. They don't have to be up very much. And then as you keep pressing your elbows into the floor, I want you to relax your legs, your hips. Apply very minimal effort in your legs and let your upper body do the work. Neck relaxes, head stays soft. Then lower our hips down and relax our upper body. Let our hands soften. Lifting our hands back up. Fingers point towards the ceiling. Drive our elbows into the floor, lift our ribs up, roll to the top of our shoulders. Press our feet into the mat, lift our hips. Drive our elbows a little bit harder and let go through our lower body. Holding and breathing. And lower our hips down and relax our upper body. Let our arms soften any direction they want to go. Lifting our hands up. Come back onto the elbows. Press your elbows into the floor. Lift your ribs. Roll to the top of your shoulders. Lift our hips. Drive our elbows a little bit more. Relax our lower body. And lower our hips. Relax our upper body. Let our arms soften down. And lift our arms up. We're going to roll to one side, press ourselves up. And then we're going to come to a seated position for a moment. And as we do, I want you to take your right forearm down to the floor and stack your shoulder over your elbow. And then take your left hand to your hip. Both knees are going to be bent and stacked, both ankles bent and stacked. Then lift our hips up off the floor by pushing our right elbow into the floor and lift our hips. Stabilizing through the right shoulder, keeping a nice long spine. Feeling our shoulder blade remain firm on our back. And lower our hips down, roll our top hip forward a little bit so that we don't add too much weight to the bottom hip. And then we're going to roll back onto our glutes. We're going to lift our knees up away from the floor, but they're going to be out at a 45-degree angle. So not straight up, not straight to the side, so that we're resting on that meaty part of our glute. Then we're going to extend our bottom leg. Lift our chest up, find length across our belly. Upper mid-back opens and stabilizes this position. And make sure it feels okay for the shoulder. You can rotate your hand out, back behind you, palm down. Adjust your arms so that it feels okay for the shoulder and the shoulder blade can remain firm. So the purpose here is to engage through the mid-back. So oftentimes we get into positions like this and we round. I want you to lift, lengthen. If it's too much, put the leg down. Think about lifting and opening. And we're doing this on a little bit of a rotational position. Shoulder blade's going to remain firm on the back, shoulder down away from our ear. Lower our leg down, bring our knees down to the floor, and we're going to roll forward again a little bit so that, again, we're not resting completely on the hip. Line up elbow underneath shoulder, palm faces down, left hand on top of our hip. Lift our hips up using the strength of our shoulder. Chest stays open. Lower down, take our left hand in front of us. We're going to come up to all fours. From all fours, joints are stacked. Fingers are spread wide. Let's find a few cat-cows, opening up the front of our body and exhaling, rounding. As we flow, notice how the right side of our body feels compared to the left. Should feel a little bit stronger through the right side. And as we balance out the back of our body, we're going to have the opportunity to stand up and move through this upright body. And I want you to notice how it feels to the shoulders, through your posture, the back of your body. Come back to a neutral spine. And then we're going to come to our left hip, lowering our left forearm down to the mat. Shoulder is going to be over the top of our elbow. Right hand's going to come to our hip, our leg, whatever we like. Joints are stacked, knees are bent. When you're ready, lift your left hip. Holding and breathing. Feel your left shoulder blade pull down your back. Then lower down, rock your top hip forward. You can take your right hand down to the floor. And again, this is just to take some weight off our hips. Pausing, breathing. Then roll to our left glute. So both knees are going to come up. And we're on that deep, soft tissue of our left glute. So if you're feeling anything bony, then draw the knees up a little bit further. We're going to extend our bottom leg, put it down on the floor. Then I want you to lift out of your left shoulder. Feel that left shoulder blade hug onto our back. Feel length across the front of our belly, almost like we're in a little bit of a cow pose. Chest lift, feel it come right from behind our sternum. You can put your right hand anywhere you like. You can lift your left leg up, make it a little more challenging if you like. Keep that left shoulder packed onto our back and we're lifting out of it. So we're not sinking heavy into that left shoulder. Hold on to that imaginary apple underneath your chin. Maybe take a peek at your left foot if that helps you hold your head in alignment. Breathing. And lower your left leg down, soften your left shoulder, roll back to your hip so that you can take your right hand in front of you, and we're going to come up to all fours. Finding a few cat-cows. Noticing how we feel through our back. Come back to a neutral spine. Curl our toes under. Lift our knees, draw our hips up and back for downward facing dog. Noticing how downward facing dog feels with a stable spine, stable mid-back. Feeling the strength of the sides of our ribs. Then walk forward in front of our mat and fold. Feel the softness through mid-back. Bending our knees, rise all the way up. And hands come together in front of our heart. Lift our right heel, shifting our weight onto our left foot. We're going to step our right foot back. As we step our right foot back, we're going to come into lunge. Hands remain at heart center. Front knees bent, back legs straight. Open up our elbows out to the side. Sorry, I have a kitty who's trying to knock down my stand. With our elbows out to the side, we're going to lean forward halfway. Feel the outer left hip shift back. Holding and breathing. Then rise up. Take our hands, reach them up to the ceiling. And then sweep our hands down to the floor. Step back into plank. Lower all the way down. Cobra, opening our heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk forward in front of our mat. And fold. Rise all the way up. Hands come together in front of our heart. Lift our left heel, shifting our weight onto our right leg. Step our left foot back. Bring our shoulders over our hips. Bring our arms out to the side. Try not to pop our ribs forward. Lean forward as we hinge from our hips, driving our back heel back, keeping long spine. Breathing. Lift up. Reach our hands up to the ceiling. Take our hands down to the floor and step back into plank. Lower all the way down. Cobra, opening our heart. Exhale, child's pose. Your variation. Knees close together, far apart. Shoulders relaxing down, head supported by the floor, blocks, hands, whatever you have available to you that honors your body. Pausing and softening through our back, our shoulders. Rising up to all fours. Joints are stacked. Take our right arm, reach it out to the side. Feel our shoulder blade firm on our back. Feel our chest open. Feel our tailbone reach back. Keeping a neutral spine, we're going to take our right hand forward. Bring it back out to the side. Take it forward. Back out to the side. Forward. Out to the side. Sweep our right hand behind our left wrist. Lower our right shoulder straight down to the floor. Let our left shoulder relax down. Feel our tailbone lift up to the ceiling. Our hips sink back. Stretching through the outer arm, shoulder, upper back. Lifting only our head. Press our hips forward as we roll over the top of our shoulder, and then let our head come back down. Lengthening from our right shoulder all the way up to our right ear. Lifting our head up. Shift our hips back. Bring our left hand underneath our shoulder. Press up and come back up to all fours. Let's find a few cat-cows. Back to a neutral spine. Take our left hand out to the side. Shoulder blade firm on our back. Bring our left hand forward. Check in with your spine. Tailbones pointing straight back. Then take our left hand back out to the side. Feel how the shoulder blade hugs onto our back. Then bring our left hand forward, keeping the shoulder away from our ear. And bring our left arm back. And forward. And back. Hold. Sweep our left hand behind our right wrist. Lower our left shoulder straight down to the mat. Rotating from mid back up. Let our head come down. Let our right shoulder relax down as well. As we let the right shoulder soften down, we begin to allow the stretch to move deeper into our rhomboids, around our shoulder blades. Feeling all of the soft tissue through the left side of our upper back, around our shoulder blade, all the way to our spine. Keep our tailbone lifted up, natural curve of our low back. Lifting just our head, press our hips forward, roll over the top of our shoulder, put our head back down. Lift our head, shift our hips back. Right hand comes underneath our shoulder. Press it into the floor to come back up. And let's find a few cat-cows. Back to a neutral spine. Let's crawl forward in front of our mat. Flip over onto our backs. Turn our arms out, palms facing up. You can prop your body up any way you like. Maybe blocks under our head and mid back. Maybe blocks under our knees. You can choose a traditional version, just lying on the floor. Closing our eyes, we give our bodies permission to soften. Drawing our awareness back to our bodies. Feel our breath begin to deepen. Bending our knees one at a time if we chose the traditional version. If we're propped up in a different variation, make sure you're honoring your body as you come out of that position. And then we're going to come up to seated, either rolling to one side or lifting ourselves up from wherever we're at. Rising up tall, lifting our spine, hugging our front of our ribs in, letting our shoulders soften back and down. Notice how it feels with gravity after a resting position. And draw our hands together in front of our heart, sealing in all that we found in this practice of stabilizing our upper body to help support how we move and play and live in our bodies. Taking all of this as a gift that we can use off of our mat in our day-to-day life. Namaste.